All right, so there's this great book by author James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. And one of the quotes from the book is actually the start of today's success principle. A man is literally what he thinks. I'm Coach Bobby Brown with Sober Life Right. What I do is I help people live their most amazing lives free from drugs and alcohol. I do that a couple of different ways, through one-on-one coaching, hopefully through these videos. I'm going through one of my top 5 favorite books right now, The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. Absolute encyclopedia of habits and these principles, these things that are common that successful people seem to do. I try to embrace and use a lot of these in my own life. Today we're on principle number 32. It's about positive self-talk and like how we talk to ourselves. This is a big chapter. It's got a lot in it. So I may break this down into a couple of days. We'll just kind of see how it flows. Title of the chapter is Transform Your Inner Critic into an Inner Coach. Before I get into that, if you'd like to follow along, if you'd like the book, if you want to read like an amazing book, I will put a link to that in my description. I'll also put a link to the As a Man Thinketh. That's another really solid book. I've got my copy of the Success Principles right here. Whether you get it from me or not, I am an Amazon affiliate. If you buy it through me, I get a little small commission. But mainly just get the book. Like this is, if you're serious about wanting to take charge of your life and you want to be a successful person, then it's very, very helpful for me to understand what successful people do and being able to look at my own life and say, okay, where are some areas that I need to improve? This book's an absolute roadmap for it. It's a basis for a lot of the coaching that I do. So let's get into it. Transform your inner critic into your inner coach. All right. Starts off talking about just some general research. It's estimated that the average person has 50,000 separate thoughts that come into their mind each day. To me, with my ADHD, I feel like that's probably even a low estimate. There's constantly this internal monologue. And a lot of times what is running through your mind, what you're telling yourself is negative stuff. You know, it's focused on things you can't do. It's focused on things you can't control. It's focused on things that are either reliving things that have already happened in the past or recreating these imaginary scenarios of a future. All these thoughts attached to feelings, and so like that controls like what we think affects our entire body, our entire the science shows it affects the way that our brain changes and develops and how it fires. Like all these things kick together. For me, there's been a couple of things that I've really learned over the years through mentors that have helped me tremendously. First off, I'm not somebody that has a whole lot of anxiety. I don't deal with a whole lot of depression, certainly nothing on a clinical level. And I think one of the keys to that is I learned in probably my late 20s, early 30s, to start paying attention to my thoughts and realizing when I was thinking about things outside of my control. There's actually a Stoic principle around this. The Stoics call it the dichotomy of control. I've also, the way it was originally explained to me was as the circle of influence and circle of concern. And I'll try and simplify this. So basically, the idea is that every thought that runs through my mind falls into one of two categories. Things I can control, things that I can't. And that every second that I spend on things that I can't control, just from a productivity standpoint, like if you want to be successful, like you need to maximize your time. That's the one thing we all have limited. If you're spending most of your time thinking about things that you have no control over, right? That's every second on something you can't control is something you're not spending on things that you can control. And I'll break down kind of where I learned this lesson. I learned this from Greg Sands in the automotive business. I feel like I probably talked about this before, but I think it's really relevant to looking at how our minds work. He was real big, and I ran shops for him. I ran car repair shops for like 25 years. I ran shops for him in Atlanta, where, if you're familiar with the climate in Atlanta, it's not an area that gets a whole lot of snow. But occasionally, one or two times at least every couple of years, we'll get some snow. Because we don't get much snow, anytime we get any amount of snow, it shuts the city down. We're just not prepared for it. We don't have the budget and the ice trucks and the salt trucks. I'm sure other parts of the country, when we get a snowstorm, are laughing at us. But it just is what it is. The city's not equipped to deal with these sort of things. Greg was very, very adamant on snow days that we got into work. And I had worked for him for several years at this point, and so I kind of knew what he expected. So knew snow was coming. I made sure I had one of my technicians at a 4x4 truck. I was like, hey, you pick me up for work tomorrow. We'll get the shop open. Everybody else can stay home, and we'll be there for the day. Greg was also very big about not having downtime. Like when we had downtime, that was a great opportunity for us to look at our business, look at our missed sales, go through an audit the business we've been doing. Reach out to customers that declined work and offer them a discount to come in. Like do all these things that we could control in order to help us to achieve the goals that we had set, financial goals and revenue goals, and do it in an ethical way. So we had a snow day, and we came in, and of course had no customers. I think we may have had one customer that day. But once getting the shop cleaned up, did exactly that. Audited bags, went through, started looking at sales that we had missed, sales that, cars that we knew needed the work and knew maybe it was a financial issue. So got on the phone and called and managed to get a hold of a customer that had somewhere like $1,600-1,700 worth of work they needed. Offer them a discount if they wanted to come in the next day and get it taken care of, and just let them know, just, hey, look, we're gonna be open. It's probably gonna be slow. We'd much rather have our guys working, and we'd more than happy to give you a discount in order to do that, keep my guys busy. And they committed. And so that first snow day, and we kept track of sales every day. We had like 6 to 10 stores at that point, and everybody put in like $100 or less for the day. That second day, still some ice on the ground. Everybody else did somewhere around 100, maybe. I think the next closest was 300. But here we are, because we had that one sale, we did like $1,500 for the day. Certainly not a game changer as far as the sales go over an extended period of time. If I look at the long years I ran in car repair shops, what difference did that one sale make? But what it did, Greg came into my store the next morning. That's when he sat me down and he taught me this. He's like, how much time were you busy yesterday? First off, I think is what he asked me. And I was like, well, yeah, I was busy. Well, what'd you do? And I kind of told him what we were doing. And he said, well, do you think you were busy compared to the president? And I just kind of laughed. And I was like, no, the president did more than me. I think he asked me somebody else, like Bill Gates or something. I forget exactly who he asked me. I was like, well, no, I wasn't as busy as him. And he was like, why do you think they got more done with you? They got the same 24 hours in a day. And I was like, I don't know. And that's when he broke this down, this circle of influence, this circle of control. And he explained to me that the reason that I had sales that day, and that I was gonna, I was typically top 1 or 2 store in sales. We were typically at the very, we outperformed other teams. Is like, while you were focused on what you could control, appointments and auditing bags and doing all that, what the other guys were talking about that did $100 the second day? So they were sitting around talking about the weather, talking about how cold it was and how slow it was. And he said, in business, it's like that all the time. You see it when COVID hit. Like, I hear this all the time when I talk to people. And I wasn't financially affected by COVID. But I can, even today, I was in an Uber 2 days ago, and somebody was talking about, well, yeah, and then COVID hit, And then so of course the money got bad on everything. Some people learn to adapt. COVID was great for business like Zoom. Like the ability for me to coach virtually is like 100% a direct result of COVID. Nobody was video conferencing. Nobody like it was FaceTime was very new. There wasn't a whole lot of that going on. But now it's become such a huge part of everybody's lives, how we stay connected. Like it just makes sense, and people are used to it. Being able to recognize that is a lot of what this chapter is about. So let's break that down to like a personal level. If I'm in recovery, and I'm early recovery, and I've decided I'm not going to drink, and I'm focused on how am I going to have fun still if I go out? What am I going to do when other people are drinking? How am I going to unwind and relax in the evening without a drink? The more you focus on, the more it increases. Seek and you'll find. Like that's in the Bible even. So like you have to be real conscious of how you're thinking. So I've had the 11.5-minute mark. I think that's probably good. There's so much in this chapter. I'm going to do this chapter for 2 days at least. So I'll maybe get into some more of the stuff that Jack said and some of the stuff, because he's got just great information. But please just get the book. If you're serious, like if you want to, like I don't know of a better book that compiles all this self-development, self-help, like these personal growth stuff the way that I've seen it in this. And I've read a lot of books. I've read hundreds of self-help, self-development, and this book puts it all together better than anything that I've seen anywhere else. So the ideas are pretty amazing. If you like my videos, which I hope you do, if you stuck around this long, you probably do, ring the bell for me. Please subscribe. Please like, comment. Please share it with somebody that you think might need the message. Now let's talk about coaching for a second. So if you're somebody that is living a sober lifestyle or wants to live a sober lifestyle, I'll work with you too. But I only work with people that are not putting substances in their body. I do that because I just, and my part of my belief system is that if you're putting substances in your body, you are not able to achieve your most amazing life, because you're hijacking your brain. Like you're not functioning with your full brain power all the time. But if you're somebody that's sober, and you're an adult, I work with adults. It might, all my young adult teens out there, I hope you get good stuff out of this. I'm rooting for you, praying for you, but I work with adults. And you know that you're not living your most amazing life. Like the stuff that we're going to talk about, like I don't have this like genius way of doing anything. Like I just have spent a lot of time learning how to structure and put the pieces together on how to like really architect and build this life in a very strategic way. I've learned how to help people discover exactly what it is that they want, all right? How to look at exactly what kind of person they need to become in order to get there. And then I'm good at developing plans. I'm good with accountability. And I'm really, really strong on helping people develop the right mindsets and the right attitudes. Like there's some very specific practices that you can do to fix these things. So if you're somebody like and most people do this, and I'm still guilty of it at times. It's just a lot less than it was before I started introducing intention in my life. There are very specific ways that you can practice and intentionally become better at how you speak to yourself. And that's stuff I work with people on. If you like the idea of having a coach and you're willing to invest your time and money so that you can save time and money down the road, and you want to achieve things, and you don't want to take forever. You want to speed the process up. you want the cheat codes. You want to learn from somebody that's been there and that's made the mistakes, then check me out. Put coach in the comments. I'll reach out to you, or go to my website, SeverLifeRight.com, and click a link. Let's just get on the phone. Let's just have a conversation, me and you, and we can talk about what it is that would make your life amazing, and see if I think I can help. I only want to work with people that I feel like I can help. And if that's you, then let's connect. So I hope this was helpful to someone. Tomorrow we'll do part 2 of chapter 32. Thanks.